Ah, love, such a delicate dance. But not all partnerships are a waltz. Some are battles. Some are wars. And some they bleed until only one dancer remains standing. Tonight, we follow a woman whose every step is vengeance, and every beat a bone breaking beneath her heel. This is the ballad of Victoria Ashford, and the man who taught her that some dances are to the death.
Before we begin tonight's tale, dear listeners, a word of caution. This story contains themes of domestic violence and revenge. While fictional, these shadows touch real lives. If you need support, resources are available. Take care of yourselves, as our protagonist learned to do. Victoria Elena Ashford was born to dance. At 5, she pirouetted through puddles. At 10, she won every competition in 3 states. At 18, she was accepted to Juilliard with a full scholarship. But dreams require support, and Victoria's family had other plans. Traditional plans, marriage plans. At 19, Victoria Elena Ashford became Victoria Cartwright. Her new husband, Marcus, had strong opinions about working wives, about dancing wives, about wives who dreamed of anything beyond his dinner table. Every morning at exactly 5:47 a.m., Victoria's day began the same way, a smile, carefully placed, even when her jaw still ached from yesterday's correction. Makeup came next, layer after layer of heavy foundation, pressed gently over the fading purple fingerprints that lingered along her throat. Then coffee, black, 2 sugars, prepared exactly the way Marcus liked it. Breakfast was not a meal, it was a performance. Every movement measured, every gesture rehearsed. Eggs over easy, never broken yolks. Toast, golden, never burnt. Orange juice poured into the glass with a small chip along the rim, 'cause that was her glass. Perfection was expected, not appreciated. And even that was never enough. When he finally left, the house would exhale, and only then would Victoria allow herself to breathe. She would lock the bathroom door, stand before the mirror, and begin again, silently. First position, second, third. Her body remembered what her life tried to erase. Each movement, a quiet rebellion. Each step, a way to survive the weight pressing down on her. But even in the mirror, her reflection carried the truth. Bruised, not just in body, but in spirit. Marcus's anger never came without warning. It moved in patterns, predictable, rhythmic, like something rehearsed. Victoria had learned to read it the way a musician reads notes on a page. A bad day at work meant bruises hidden beneath clothing. Denied over time meant burns that lingered. Unpaid bills meant days where even standing became a struggle. But the worst nights were never about money or work. They were the nights when Victoria forgot herself, when her body moved without permission, softly, instinctively. A quiet hum while washing dishes, a gentle sway only she could feel. On those nights, Marcus made sure she remembered exactly where she belonged. Not just her body, not just her voice. Everything. That night, something inside Victoria gave way, not bone. Those had already endured more than they should. Something deeper, something quiet, something that had been waiting. It began as something barely there, a whisper, a melody only Victoria could hear. Soft at first, fragile, like it might disappear if she breathed too hard. But it didn't fade, it grew. Tchaikovsky, Swan Lake. the very peace she once carried in her bones, the one she had prepared, dreamed, lived for. The music that had been beaten out of her was finding its way back. His voice called for her, loud, impatient, familiar, but something had changed. She moved toward the stairs, not rushed, not afraid, each step measured, each movement intentional. For the first time in years, she wasn't reacting. She was moving with purpose, like she was following something unseen, something guiding her. The music filled her now, louder than his voice, louder than the fear, louder than the past. The force that once would have shattered her barely moved her. Her head turned slowly, deliberately, and for the first time, she met his eyes without flinching. The music wrapped around her, lifted her, steadied her. What had once been buried was no longer quiet. It was calling her, and this time, she was ready to answer. Victoria moved toward the closet, not with hesitation, but with certainty, like she already knew what was waiting for her. At the back, hidden behind everything she had been forced to forget, sat a box, black, unmarked, waiting. The moment the lid lifted, the music found her, not from the room, not from the walls, from them, the shoes, her blood-red point shoes. They had been holding it all this time, waiting. She reached for them, slowly, reverently, like something sacred, like something dangerous. She didn't rush. She savored it, each ribbon pulled tight, anchoring her, binding her, becoming her. Her breathing slowed, deepened, matched the rhythm. She rose, en pointe, effortless, weightless, alive. For the first time in years, her body remembered everything. Then, something changed. Beneath her feet, an image, Marcus, spread across the floor like a reflection that didn't belong. Still, waiting, she looked down at him. Her expression didn't change, but the shoes began to breathe. With every inhale, they tightened. With every exhale, they pulsed. The music grew louder, faster, demanding. Marcus called her from the doorway, but it didn't reach her, not fully, because something else had taken hold. And then she moved, not by choice, by command. She danced, and somewhere, something broke, but she didn't hear it, only the music, lost in it, every movement precise, every step landing exactly where it needed to, a turn, a strike, a leap, a collapse, a spin, a fracture. Her body followed the choreography, but the damage followed something else, unseen, exact. She never questioned it, never felt it, because to her, there was only music, only movement, only freedom. And then it stopped. The music was gone. Victoria was no longer in the trance of the music. She stood still, barely out of breath, her body untouched by effort. Then she felt it, warmth beneath her feet. She looked down. The floor was no longer the same. The image was gone. In its place, a dark, spreading pool. Her shoes soaked. She turned and saw him. Marcus, collapsed, still, broken, every wound, every fracture, perfectly placed, exactly where she had stepped. There was no confusion in her expression, no panic, only understanding. When she reached for the phone, her voice was controlled, believable, because what remained in the room looked like survival, but what had truly happened was something else entirely. Not rage, not chaos, not even revenge. It was a performance, precise, perfect, unseen, and now complete. Something about the Cartwright case felt off. The injuries weren't random. They were placed, not a struggle, a performance. It looked like choreography, but no one saw it that way. Just another domestic case, self-defense, case closed. Victoria Cartwright walked free. She stepped into the room as someone new, Victoria Ashford. The audition was flawless, every movement precise, every emotion real, not performed, remembered. She was cast on the spot, lead role, a story of pain and redemption. They called her transcendent, transformative, as if she had lived every moment she portrayed. But her brilliance carried a secret. Before every performance, she returned to that night like a ritual. Eyes closed, breath steady, the faint sound of the music, the weight of her ex-husband beneath her feet, and every night she danced through it, over it, beyond it, a performance for the world and something else entirely. You've been listening to Whispers in the Dark, reminding you that survival takes many forms. Before you sleep tonight, my lovelies, listen to your footsteps. Every step tells a story. Some stories are beautiful, some are terrible, and some are necessary. Sweet dreams, and remember, sometimes the prettiest heels hide the sharpest stories, but they also hide the strongest souls.